Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I understand, I do. Yes, I apologize. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. I'm sorry. I am for real. I promised more Kingdom content, and the last Kingdom thing I did was in January.
Jesus H. Christ.
Yeah. So we are in May right now, the beginning of May, and it's kind of like, whoa, King, bro, like, where's Kingdom at? Yeah, again, I do apologize, but hopefully this video will be the restart of the restart of the restart of getting back on the Kingdom train. Like, I'm always behind the Kingdom train, man. I'm always catching up somehow, some way. But it shouldn't be the case, considering how good this series is. It's not fair. It really isn't fair. So, hopefully this video is going to keep me on the Kingdom train tracks for a very, very long time. Though I'm kind of starting behind this case, because I'm not going to do the latest chapter of Kingdom, but instead do that in a separate video following this video. So there's more content to come, whereas in this video, we're going to cover chapters 544 through 555 in a general sense. The general sense being, you have Shin and you have his unit do very good against Gyoun and his unit and his army, but afterwards, we find out that Gyo has 20 days of food, and the armies of Kin, they barely have like 3. Actually, no, Kanki has 1 day. Yotawa says that their storage can barely last 3 days. I mean, come on now. Like, it's do or die. This 9th day is pivotal, and it looks like things are going to turn out fairly devastating for the Quinn right army, because Riboku, like, oh, we have the Akou army weakness now. Like, what? We have the Akou army weakness? Like, where is Ocean? Where is he? He should be, like, counter-scheming Riboku. Riboku's mobile. Riboku's everywhere. Where you at, Ocean? Damn, it is blowing my mind right now. I don't want to think the worst, but, I mean, is there a chance that he betrayed Kin? I mean, I don't know. Probably. I don't know, because it was stated before that he does have ambitions to seek the throne, but if Kin gets screwed, having a lot of these major cats pass away isn't going to help Kin in the long run. So, if Ocean seeks the throne, it would make no sense for him to betray Kin. It really wouldn't. Unless he wants under the throne. I don't know. You know, okay. All right. Okay. Okay, let's just go from the beginning here, okay? So, first of all, on the upside for the Kin army, Shin and his unit, 8,000 men, versus Gyoun and his 10,000 men army. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is Ryo Ten's first time dealing with an instinctive type general from a strategic standpoint. Because here she is, trying to find a way, by using basic stratagems, trying to find a way to deal with Gyoun and his men. However, they're getting beaten back on most fronts, if not all, no, on all fronts actually, they're getting beaten back. And all Gyoun was doing was making slight adjustments in his men's position, probing, flanking, all kinds of stuff, and Ryo Ten couldn't keep track. So because what he was doing was beyond the realms of logic, meaning like it was illogical. Maybe it's something that's beyond in a sense, because they are using their instincts per se. But the way Kyou Kai and Ryo Ten talked about it, it made it seem like it was just a bad thing. It was so illogical that it was working. Either way, we do know from history that instinctive type generals like Kesha and of course the Duke, they are very good tacticians. The Duke had Riboku on the back foot sometimes, like whoa. But here Ryo Ten is struggling massively with no gains being made. But Kyou Kai notices at Shin's location, they seem to be doing just fine. What's going on here? Boom. This could be a tactic issue. And Shin ultimately takes command of the troops in God knows how long. The last time he actually used strategy, or he tried to, was before Ryo Ten joined the Haishin unit. They were screwing up badly. I'm pretty sure that was back when Shin was a 1,000 man commander. I believe so. But in this case, against another instinctive type general, Shin is required to be there. Shin has to take the reins. And that is exactly what we see. But what I did like a lot was Shin wasn't amazing at it. He knew kind of what Gyo was doing in a certain sense, and how he deployed the men in certain areas was successful, but overall, Gyo still had the edge. So Shin still has a ways to go to get to that level, to get to Kesh's level or Dukyo's level. But he was doing a lot better than Ryo Ten, where Ryo Ten just didn't know what the hell was happening. In the future, this is going to be pivotal, because not only do you have the strategy from Ryo Ten to where that's going to grow and develop and be on a very high status, and she is the logical based strategist like Riboku and like Osen and whatnot, but then you have on the flip side guys like Shin, where if things are starting to get wonky and iffy, Shin can take command of certain troops, or the entire army if he needs to, and start implementing the instinctive type strategies. That's what I really want to see in the future. A melding of those two. So it'll be very, very hard to catch the Haishin unit off guard unless you have a very similar duo in another army, which would probably exist in Chu, because Chu is the largest nation. But ultimately, when it comes to the great blaze that Gyun was setting up, Shin, he's able to realize last second where Gyun was targeting, or at least where he seemed to be targeting, which was at Lieutenant N's position. So all the reserves, he sends them there, and that's where the main battle is going to be. However, this was all a ploy on Gyun's part to probe the Haishin unit and create a small little rift, and this rift connected their camps. And so as Gyun is going through this, Shin, he realized this too. And what was cool was he sends Kyou Kai to deal with the main battle, but Shin himself realizes, wait a second, how come I didn't go there too? This is a part of Shin's development as a general, as an instinctive type general like Dukyo. He realized, even though there's a great blaze over here, I sent Kyou Kai there, but not myself. I didn't go with her. There's probably something else that is going on that instinctively I'm aware of, but not truly aware of. And then he has to kind of ponder over this, and then he realizes that there's actually been a rift. This would allow Gyo to slip through the entire army, the entire battlefield essentially, and go straight for their camp. So he takes the guards posted on the camp, and he goes into this rift to fight against Gyo. That was like, that was good. Shin's instincts may play another pivotal role in saving thousands upon thousands or tens of thousands of soldiers. Maybe getting the W. Maybe. Because again, the whole purpose here is to try and get Gyo. If they can get Gyo, King should be in a very good position to take over the lower part of Zhao. Now, as Shin is going through this battle with Yoon, on the flip side, Kyou Kai was scary. Like, Kyou Kai was, woo! She can see that the whole battlefield around N is chaos. So what she does, that I think she has Shosa, and she has the one guy from Dukyo's unit. I forgot what his name was, but she has these two guys lead certain units to set up a blockade, a funnel. And they funnel the main Zhao forces in the middle, where her and the main infantry led by Suigen. And by the way, shout outs to Suigen. Apparently Suigen and Kyou Kai were sparring from time to time, and Suigen's skills upped dramatically. Like this dude's sword skills are like, whoa, okay. So infantry commander for a goddamn good reason. Suigen is fire. Like, Suigen caught me off guard. I would figure that he has an issue with the eye patch, but I mean, Suigen's been fighting fairly well in the infantry for a very long time. And now knowing that him and Kyou Kai sparred on occasion, which may have been shown in the previous chapters, I need to go back, honestly. But either way, shoutouts to Suigen. So all these men are not following in the middle, and her and Suigen and the infantry hold their ground against all of these dudes. Clearly outnumbered, but they're slaying. They're slaying these dudes in mass. Suigen is putting in work. The new guys are putting in work. OD work. Her own men are putting in work. And Kyou Kai herself, wow. the body's hitting the floor. And what was really cool to see was Kyou Kai implement tactics right then and there so she could fight for the long haul. Kyou Kai is devastating, but she has to make sure that she has plenty of breath so she can use her abilities to the max. She would fight for a period of time, then she would meditate. As she would meditate to regain her breath, her boys would come around her and protect her.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That was cool. So Kyou Kai using tactics, so now she can fight in the middle of combat for the long haul. And on the flip side, here we have Shin fighting against Gyo-eun. This dude was good. In their first glaive clash, it was clear that Gyo-eun had the upper hand. And as the day goes on and the fight continues, Shin bloodied, wounded, a bit hazy, but he is starting to get the hang of the glaive. That is crucial, because Shin's sword skills were already fairly good. But the issue at hand was Shin could not really use the glaive properly. And it's a very similar case what we see with Gaimou of the Wayfire Dragon. Gaimou stated that Shin's glaive skills were subpar at best. But what made him dangerous was his ability to overcome the fear of death. Just go in there, deep, pure courage, pure tenacity, through all the deadly blows and get solid shots. So Shin had that going for him, but I'm not gonna say that Gyo-eun is superior than Gaimou of the Wayfire Dragons. Potentially he is, but it is clear that Gyo-eun has a large degree of martial might. And he stated previously that his existence and his blade was dedicated to taking out all of the 6 great generals of Quinn back in the day. A little bit too bold of a goal, but hey, to each their own. The issue that Shin had against Gaimou is the issue that Shin has now against Gyo-eun in this fight. However, over the course of this fight, he was starting to get the hand of how to use the glaive properly. Because against Gaimou, it is a different glaive. It was a lighter glaive, but still a glaive. In this case, with Oki's glaive, it's a much heavier weapon. A much sturdier, much more powerful weapon, but still heavier overall. And so, the same problem he had then, now exists here in this case, because of the glaive's weight. And that is noted to us, the reader, when he's fighting against Gyo-eun. At the end of this, at the end of the day, Gyo-eun is actually a bit bloody too. And one of his lieutenants, one of his subordinates points to how they should stop because they could see Gyo-eun shaking and whatnot. But Shin gets saved by one of his boys. I forgot his name was, but the guy with the mustache and spiky hair. I think his name was Hiro or some of the sort. He saved Shin and company because Shin, he couldn't really fight anymore. When Gyo-eun leaves because the day is coming to an end, Shin yells at him, and as he yells at him, falls to the ground, passes out basically. I'm not gonna say maybe during this next engagement, maybe with Gakue, it's possible, but odds are in the next major battle that we see Shin in, Shin will have attained proficient glaive skills. Maybe not mastery, but he will be to the point where if he did fight against Gaimou of Wayfire Dragons again, Gaimou would acknowledge that his glaive skills are actually very good, if not on par with his own glaive skills. Maybe though, that's again pushing it, I would say. Because again, according to the end of chapter 555, whatever happens now is going to backfire in the face of Kin massively. So how they survive, I don't know. I mean, it looks like Osin, he lost Mako, and now it looks like it's gonna be Akou too. That's what it looks. Where is Osin? Like, yo, this is crazy. I don't understand. Osin is like the in-battle Ryofu. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, what are you scheming now? Your second in command got practically assassinated by a Riboku. In the middle of battle, it was crazy. They were on a flank mission. Your first in command is not at major risk. You being Osin should have some understanding of what's going down because you and Riboku are like maybe on par. I mean, I figured that Osin's smarter, but maybe not. Maybe I overestimated Osin. Osin's clearly setting up for something, but it's like, dude, when? When is the time, Osin? Because Ohon is there. Odds are, yeah, I know I'm deviating because I want to keep it on track, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, Ohon is there. So odds are he's not going to betray the Kin army now because he doesn't want his son to die, right? Oh, like, even that's even that's questionable because I don't know. Let's stay on the path here and then we'll get to it. At the end of the Gyo-eun army versus the Shin unit, Gyo-eun sees Kyou Kai and a whole slew of Zhao body. Flabbergasted, stunned, can't believe what he's seen.
No way!
We see some of the new guys like Kanto. They're still alive. It's literally a bloodbath. Everyone there is covered in blood. And Kyou Kai just soaked in blood, barely standing apparently. Gyoun sees this, and he says the following. Take a look right here. The 3 miscalculations that Gyoun made. The first being that Shin had predicted his surprise attack on their HQ. The second being the unpleasant surprise that Shin would prove to be a man capable of stopping the attack. And last but not least, was the fact that the highest Shin unit would contain a fighting officer capable of influencing the battle other than Shin. The blaze on the left that was supposed to consume the high Shin unit had instead been resolved in a manner that burnt away at both sides equally. Seeing the dreadful figure of Kyou Kai standing on the blood-drenched ground. For an instant, the image of a certain member of the Kin 6 great generals flashed through his mind. He was forced to reevaluate his opinion of the high Shin unit and was now convinced that they were an opponent more difficult than he had originally expected. The parallel is there. It is as plain as day, clear as crystal. Kyou Kai is the next Kyou. But seeing Gyoun realize the threat that Shin and Kyou Kai will pose in the future, as well as Ohon and Mou Ten. Because after this chapter, he sits down and he talks to Banaji, he talks to Gakue, as well as Chogaryu. And he talks about how a lot of these upcoming commanders, Ohon, Mou Ten, who saved the entire Quinn left, and now Shin and Kyou Kai, they must be eliminated for the sake of the future of Zhao. And Banaji and company agree. Now that being said, shout outs to Kanto, shout outs to Heirai, one of his boys, as well as Kyoku and Kaku, the brothers, the big brothers. And these 4 of the new guys, they have promised, they survive. And it looks like in the future, they too will become 5-man and 100-man commanders. Maybe 1,000-man commanders. Kanto, actually, yeah. Kanto may be. Yeah. Kanto may be. Because let's say, I would hate to see this, right? Some of the older commanders of the high Shin unit, they're going to pass away in combat. We need some new guys to take over. Kanto, Hirei, how do you say his name? Kanto's like friend from like same village. And the Ko brothers, yes. And unfortunately, on the heels of what seemed to be good strides made for Kin, on that same night, word reaches Riboku's ears of how many days the food can last in the city of Gyo. The main target of this whole campaign, 20 days. Zhao estimates that the Kin food reserves can last for 10 days. But in reality, it is so much less than that. This segues back to Kin headquarters in the palace. They finally got a messenger over to their location. Obviously, since they've been surrounded by Zhao troops, messengers have been killed and been hunted down by the Zhao troops. One troop finally got through the blockade. They have arrived with a message, but the message is kind of like, what, 3 days old, I believe? No. It took the guy 5 days to get to their location. But all they have to do is calculate from a food standpoint how many days they have left, because that's the main thing that they understand, the food thing. The battle is progressing kind of evenly. However, in this case, it shouldn't be even considering the time frame that they have here. When they find out that the Ocean Army only has 5 days worth of food left, start freaking out. Now, Sei talks to the other nobles there and like higher ups, tries to calm them down, and they're trying to think it through and see what they can do. But essentially, it comes down to placing their hopes on Osen and company to get the job done. Like, again, you cannot help but think about what was stated before about Osen, about how Osen has ambitions for the throne. So let me read to you what Shoei-kun says when he's thinking to himself, right here. Shobun-kun, I understand that this is a very complicated scenario, but is the fact that we're even a match for a Boku army really something to be celebrated right now? That is ... something we cannot answer here in Kanyu. After all, we don't have any information on how long Gyo's food stores can hold out for. If Gyo runs out of food before the Ocean Army, then it's definitely good news. But if our men are the ones to begin starving first, then it will be as if a noose were thrown around our necks, slowly being tightened by Riboku with each passing day. Hang on, you're telling me that despite having no idea whose food will run out first, Osen of all people chose to make such a huge gamble? Next page. Indeed. That right there is the issue. Back when we first received the word of him laying siege to Gyo, that one aspect stood out to me more than anything else. Is Osin really a man who would take a gamble with such high stakes? People, that is the question when it comes to Osin. Riboku is, again, so mobile. He's everywhere. He's setting up plots and schemes to try and now take out Akou of the first, making sure that Banaji knows, like, yo, you in? Like, you ready to go? But wait a minute now. Osin should be able to see this coming. But that's assuming that Osin's strategic ability is of the same caliber as Riboku's. I think ultimately this all may be one giant bait move for Riboku. It could all be bait on Osin's part to sacrifice his most loyal men for the sake of taking Gyo. It could be something wild like that. There's no way he's just sitting down chilling, but that's the way it seems. Honestly, when you look at what happened when Osin was first introduced into the story, when we had Osin and Kanki under Mogo, and when Osin had built a fort and Renpa tried to penetrate the fort, Renpa realized that he couldn't, and he was disappointed because Osin had allowed no gaps, no flaws. So not only could they not get in, but Osin and company couldn't get out of his fort. Osin was not willing to take the gamble. Something similar happened against Yan back in the coalition arc, where Osin and boys just dipped. They just vanished until the moment was right to when he knew where Orlo and his Yan army were going to be climbing, and then just immediately wiped out. It was like, I think 5,000 mountain men just gone. Osin, is he setting up this? Honestly, this could be a very similar situation as what we got with Yan during the coalition arc. It could be Osin just kind of disappear, because he's already like kind of gone right now, disappearing, doing his own thing, setting up, and then when every pin is lined up, set him up, knock him down. But right now, it looks like Riboku is doing the pin knocking, and then this man is getting strikes. It's, I don't know. I mean, granted, Riboku was thwarted by the Haishin unit because they were able to successfully defend the right side against Gyo-un and his forces. Good. And the left was saved by Mou Ten, but they did take out Mako. They did take him out. And the Kanki army only has 1 day's worth of food. Their food is running low. Later on in the discussion with the messenger at Kanyu, he informs them that the Heiki army, their food storages were all burnt. So Yotawa and Heiki army, the major unit to take on the Kyorong people, the Ryuyu area, okay, that area, on less than 3 days of food. But they're going in hard now. For Yotawa's character, seeing her maintain the calm, cool, and collected nature, coming up with the plan. The plan is simple: to take out the 3 brothers of the king, who lead separate armies of the Kyorong. But what was really cool was seeing the character interaction of Heiki and Yotawa. Because you have to understand, Heiki right now is in a massively desperate situation. Heiki is being a burden in this very crucial, pivotal battle for the entire state of Kin. Because if they lose this battle, their military force will be cut less than half, which means that Kin as a nation would see utter demise by the other nations. Definitely. Chu is waiting. Chu is waiting and ready to go. They're gearing up. And the only one that's stopping them is Mobu. Oh, Mobu. Yeah. Either way. And Heiki has to rely on the food of Yotawa company. And all the while has to deal with this really violent chick, part of the Mare tribe. Actually, Heiki may pork her at some point, because him getting Yotawa is a bit much, right? So you go for like the next best thing, I suppose, like get some other chick, and I don't know. That could be a stretch, but either way, not important. What is important here is this: after Yotawa talks about the plan, Heiki is stunned, and he talks to her, saying how he's being so much of a burden. So then, why do X, Y, Z, and the other? And then she states, "I thought that we were friends," and so this is not more so for the sake of Kin, but more so for the sake of our bond as friends, right? So automatically being put in the friend zone, rough. But Heiki respects that truly and deeply. He takes it to heart. And so now he is going to be tasked with taking out one of the brothers of the king of Kwarong. I think it's the youngest of the brothers or like the middle brother, because there's 3. The oldest brother is fighting Bajo. The other 2 are for Heiki and the Falcon dude. And also, I gotta say this too, for the record. The manga hasn't been doing the Kwarong stuff well, I think. Like, that's something, it's been doing the stuff on the main army side fairly well. But we've skipped a lot of the Kwarong stuff, which is a shame, but at the same time, those parts may not have been as important as the coming parts. Well, clearly, because this is like the do or die battle. This is when the 3 brothers should die. Unfortunately for the plan, even though Heiki's fully committed to making sure that one of the brothers die, doing his part, and keeping his promise to Yontanwa, Sun Ju, I see you over there. I see you. Yes, I do. I know what you're planning. Their numbers double. This is something that was brought up earlier, too, where the Kwarong, they couldn't tell how many forces they had. It seemed like they always had men available. On the pivotal 9th day, when Quinn is fully committed to killing these 3 guys, all of a sudden, the Kwarong numbers go from like 10,000, 5,000 to like 20, 30,000, doubling in number, the armies, their individual armies. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, what? Whoa. Unless we have like Bajo and like the Falcon dude pull some Dynasty Warriors action and kill like 1,000 men a pop.
Among men, red hair among horses. That's him.
I don't see. Oh man, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. Woo. It's gonna happen. Like they're gonna pull through somehow, some way, right? Where is the saving grace? That should be Osin, but it's like at this point in time, it's like, man, I don't. And also, I will say this too. I don't think this is the case, considering the worry that Morrow has right now when he was talking to Kanki. But the letter that Riboku got stating that Gyo had 20 days of food, could that have been forged? Could that have been faked by Kanki, potentially? I don't think so, but that could be something. That could maybe be something that Kanki and his boys did to try and fool Riboku. Though, again, I doubt it. So either way, Heiki and company doing their thing. And apparently their army is very much like Mogo. They have the fundamentals. So you have the cavalry of one of the brothers charge them, their army. I think it's Buen. So I'm going to say Buen. Buen's army charges Heiki's army. Heiki's army, fundamentals, tactics. Well, they charge in there. And the Heiki army have the archers on point. When they do break their defense, they have another line of archers to deal with the intruders. And then they repatch the breaks. And the Heiki army is able to deal with the cavalry quite efficiently. The brother, the commander that he's facing, calls the cavalry back, tells his boys to cut off the heads of those that failed. Crazy. And then now he's sending in 10,000 men for infantry. And the Heiki army, hunkering down, doing their thing. Sticking to the fundamentals and making them work. We're not flashy, we're not fancy, but when it comes to the fundamentals, they practice them for hundreds of hours to a T. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and apparently Heiki, his army, has the fundamentals. They're going the Mogo route. Okay, I didn't see that coming, but it does make a lot of sense considering his personality and how he operate his army. Makes a lot of. In fact, you know what? I could say that was alluded to when you had the fake rebellion of Issei's brother. It was when Sei's mother did her own rebellion, her own coup. I think it was the state of Ai. Yeah, like the state of Ai was established in like the top eastern part, the northeastern part of Kin. And I believe Heiki was there too. It's the return of the Haishin unit after like training, and then Heiki was there too. And Heiki was showcasing the skills of the fundamentals. So right now, this battle could be the most important battle of the day. If we take the narrator's words at face value, Shin and Ohon, they cannot take care of Gakue. And Akou, who's now being targeted because Riboku's found his weakness, the Akou army weakness, Akou gets killed in combat. Then the hopes would lie on Yotawa and Heiki to overcome the Kwarong, to overcome the Ryu area, seize their castle, take all the food there, and then have people go over to the Kin side on the main army where Ocean is, take that food, distribute that food across that army, and then go over to Kanki and his boys so they can last longer. But, because Maro also says this too when he's talking to Kanki. Here's the thing, Kanki alludes to this not being necessary. Because Maro says, like, we have one more day of food left, and if things don't work out, we retreat. And Kanki says, as he's drinking, you know, sure. If it gets to that point. Kanki knows Ocean best. Like, what what the hell is Ocean planning? Like, I gotta see this. I have to see this. If Ocean was really willing to sacrifice his most loyal men, armies built around these men, for the sake of attaining Gyo, I mean, that's wow. That is one hell of a dude. That is one hell of a commitment. And that is one hell of a sacrifice. And for the future of the series, that would probably mean that Ocean's army, maybe it will be, but he's only gonna get older. But his army will never be the same when it comes from a military might standpoint. Like, he'll try and build up again, but it will never reach those levels that he had for the sake of Gyu. I mean, that's... Which would mean that he, Ocean, has made a change of character to forego his ambitions of the throne. Yo, honestly, this could be, like... For Ocean's character, this has the potential of being insane. But right now, Shin, Ohon, Gakue, setting up. I will do a separate video really soon for chapter 556 of Kingdom. Really soon. I want to say the weekend. Okay, just to make sure, because Friday and Saturday I'm busy. That being said, I'm done. Overall, guys, this battle has been intense. It has been mind-boggling, and yet this sense of wonder when it comes to Ocean, and this sense of dread when it comes to Zhao and Riboku. Heiki initially not looking good at all, but now Heiki coming out strong, but still the Kwarong are not scrubs in the slightest. Yotanwa, they already know the plan. Sun Ju is there. He's very, very smart. How is this going to work? How are Kin going to pull the W? How are they going to pull the V? I don't know. But it's going to happen some way. I think. But that's it. I'm done. So, King Lightning, be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do, especially when I know that you all have a device called Zaymao Su. You use Zaymao Su to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad, and of course, comment in the comment section down below. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day. Ocean, where are you, man? They need you. Kin needs you to somehow pull out the W.